Okay, here we go. Here we go. So, group number 1. Division number 5 is what we start with. And we have 82 players in the league again. Sorry, no suit for that part. Sorry. But it's not the finals time. It's not even the start of the league yet. Just announcement time, guys. Come on. I'm perfectly well dressed here in a pretty nice pullover. But it's not quite suit time just yet. Okay. Yeah, push-up time is later, guys. First, let's check the groups out, because they are pretty cool. Let's go for Division 5. And what you can see here first is an insane amount of new names. The only guys that we already know from previous seasons in Division 5 is Hopotanga, Eowulf and Roguish Tiger out of Down Under, Mr. Upsilon out of France, and then Baba Yan. And I think Baba Yan, for example, is one of the favorites in the group, but we don't know all these random new guys. So let's see how they will do, because one of them for sure will be way too good for being Division 5. But it will be fun to figure out who it is. Also, yeah, one player is still missing in Group C, and yeah, that will be done tomorrow because I somehow messed something up. Yeah, I just didn't have the time to fix it yet. Well, I wouldn't bet on anyone here because I don't have a clue who is good, how good, and I'm really looking forward to figuring that out. So that's Division 5. Let's move on to Division 4, where we have a couple of other players. And yeah, we start with Benjamin in Group A, a new player that we don't know. Von Hummel, pretty solid player from the USA. Well, I think... No, not from the USA. Which is the USA group in here? I think this is the... Yeah, this is the USA... No, this is the UK group. That's the USA group? This might be the... Yeah, I think this is the USA group. Even though it has 2 fonts in it. Which would make you think that it is German, but these guys are just guys using font because it's fun. Not because it's their real name. Yeah. So, Badger Jelly, our player from Asia in this division, out of Vietnam. Then we have a group nearly fully UK. Marco being the only non-UK player in this group. That's the first time that we had so many UK players in one division. And it's really cool, like having 5 UK players, plus Mr. Marcos from Spain. So, same. It's pretty close to the Greenwich timeline, but not quite using the same time. But that's pretty cool. And then we have our Europeans over here, plus Farid Rommel out of Iran. And a lot of known names here, like Kissinger, Villigar out of Division 5. I think Dindomir also played before. Stu obviously is a known name. Bishop from last season is also a known name. But also still quite a couple of new guys. Or returning guys. Yeah, like Farid Rommel is new. Balticum is new. Yeah, up here basically everyone is new. I think Atkurz is the only guy. And no, Atkurz and GG Kringle. So also 4 new guys in the league over here. So yeah, still a lot of newcomers with a lot of potential, but a lot of known guys. Obviously, Rooster, for example, is a known figure in the community for his amazing work over at the lovely for his lovely work over at the Bootcamp Discord. Hey Hamsik, we are figuring out the groups here. So yeah, we will create a fantasy league again, guys. I'm pretty sure on that. Yeah, groups will be done, and then next week we'll start with the Fantasy League, I think, if Green is helping me out again, and maybe Eugen as well. Also, if you're interested in helping out with the Fantasy League, get in contact with me as well. Yeah, let's move on to Division 3, where we have a lot of known names, like this is the Americas group. Focus on Americas, not North America, because we have our first South American participant in AS out of Brasilia, or like our first person located also in South America. Tiger obviously was also Brazilian, but he's located in Germany. And then we have Tanner, Burden Warrior, Rosa, Shadowhunter, and Hamsick, all out of the northern part of America. And in Group B, we have our two Asia-located players, Vivalot and JK Omamori. And then we have a lot of good guys as well. Von Paulus coming down out of Division 2, but obviously in Division 3, he is a heavyweight. Like, he will be the benchmark for the group. If you can beat Von Paulus, you have chances of moving on into the playoffs. If you can't beat Von Paulus, then I don't think you have any chances of getting there, because he will be the test of can you get there, can you not get there. And then Cramoxis and Chervy. Yeah, Cramoxis has played previous seasons. Chervy is a nice guy. Played, I think, also in the Greenhorn Cups. Another German player. Yeah, he offered to help out last season, but yeah, we couldn't fit him in there as for top outs. So yeah, he will have his first shot this season. And then in the Group C, we have a lot of known guys. We have Gensei Kake out of Switzerland, Milchkäse and Vincent out of Germany, as well as Rapes 96, Fanatics as well, and Colonel Koenig, who you might not know from any of our tournaments, but you might have seen him on the ladder, because he's one of the most active guys on the ladder. At least I have run into him, I think, like 8 times in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah. This is really, really interesting. So yeah, this group here will be absolutely cool, because it's a lot of known guys, but we will have to see where Gensei stands after one season hiatus. Yeah, we will see how the newer guys do, and how Milchkäse and Fanatics have evolved since last season. And now, let's go to the really high ups. Let's go to Division 2, where we have the first group with a lot of Eastern players. We have Jogu, we have Malka Bianca, we have Mr. Snut. Arturo Diaz is coming in as one of the players that a lot of you guys know, especially you guys over from Bowser's channel, know this name more than good. And he is one of these guys that when you run into him in ranked, you're scared. And I think it will be quite similar when you run into him in the league. Time to Collision, who always underplays how good he is. Always like, oh yeah, I will go down this season, and then he claps Lolly 2-0. And actually gets third in his group with nearly getting into the playoffs. And then Hypercrest of France, a staple in Steel Division 2. One of the best French players continuously, and maybe with shots onto getting out there. We have to see. Tough group for him though, like this is a really strong group. And then Group 2 is our Americas Plus group. We have Fitz out of UK, who you might have seen if if you have watched my YouTube video on 116th. The guy I played against there, who was laying a lot of crazy smoke and so on, that's him. And I have heard rumors that he actually beats some of the Division 1 players on ladder quite regularly, so have eyes on Fitz. Then Graham, who we obviously know as the sidekick of Nilla, and maybe he will try to get out of the shadow of Nilla this season. He for sure is a solid player on his own. Yeah, Emperor Nate, who also is the guy on the side of Jack. At least that's how I know him so far, but maybe he can also lay that off and become Emperor Nate, and Jack maybe becoming his side shot if he beats the hell out of this group. Last season he did really well, got into the finals of Division 3, lost there against El Bowser, but obviously someone to watch out for. Then Mr. Plague of Rats, also someone you see a lot on the ladder, and it's always a tough match. And then the Bowser Bane, Stan the Man, S5. And then, as the cherry on top of this already really strong group, we have the drop down from Division 1, US Prester John in here. And oh boy, like, yeah, having to beat US Prester John for getting into the playoffs obviously will not be an easy task for any of these players. He for sure is one of the favorites in this whole division and in his group absolutely as well. Like, his tank play is just insanely good, so this is a rough one. And here we go to Group C. We have our Finnish player, Mr. Ermin, as the starter. Then, from Division 5, directly into Division 2, because we figured out that everything else in between might be a bit too easy for him, and we wanted to give him a challenge. Mr. Sir Daniels, after he stomped the kiddie pool last season, can he beat the grown-ups as well? I think he has chances to. Let's see if he actually manages. He plays a lot. Like, let me check on my Steel Division 2. Is he still the guy with the most played hours? No, he dropped a bit. But the last, like, 4 weeks in a row, he was up here. Now El Bowser got him, so you can see that guy puts into practice as well. That guy puts into practice as well, but... And Green HD also, so... And Decadites, like, all these guys are in that group. So, 4 guys up there. Yeah, because Green HD is next. Also coming out from down below. Decadites. Another really strong Spanish player. Overall, the Spanish community really with a lot of representatives this season. Tukaraski, the only guy here that was in Division 2 last season already. So he has to show the new guys to their spots or go under, trying. And then obviously the Bowser himself. So also a lot of, like, yeah, 2 funny community matches already in the group phases for him, against Mr. Green HD, against Sir Daniels. And then we will see how he fares against the other guys, if his memes can be stopped or if his new meta is unstoppable. And he will go from Division 3 to Division 1, just like Quadryu did over the last 2 seasons. And then we go to Division 1, the creme de la creme. We start with the guy who made the comeback. Dropped down to Division 2 after Season 3, but got 2nd place last season in Division 2 again, and got himself back into Division 1, and he absolutely earned being here. Like, he is a staple of Steel Division greatness since Steel Division Normandy 44 came out, and he gives us lovely games out of the UK. Mr. Eugen. But his group is a tough one. Second one in his group already is a playoff player from last season. Got beaten by Karma in the semifinals, where he got in though as the first seed. Just Karma was in such good shape that Grey Fox wasn't able to get the win there, but he absolutely is a tough player to crack, and if he is in practice, it's really scary to play against him. Then another playoff player from last season, Mr. Neff. Yeah, losing out against Karma as well last season, but also a known member of the community, also a Strike Team member. Yeah, really good play all around. When he is in practice, he can give you really cool games. Like, he's never the guy who plays the normal meta. He's always having something weird in his playstyle, and that's what makes him so dangerous. And that's why he's one of the favorites of mine when it comes to casting. And then we have the return of one of the top players out of the American region, the only American representative in Division 1 this season, with Mr. Lena, as sadly Mr. Jack is busy otherwise and is on hiatus. But Nilla replaces him, so NA is represented. And I mean, he got into the semifinals before, into the finals before in season 3 against Gonzo, and up till there he looked absolutely stellar against all the other opponents. And if he gets his play even on the nether level, and I mean, you can see his YouTube video and so on, he is active, he has good strategies. You watch his stream, he is a really solid player, and his mortar play especially, always to point out about the Americans, and he does it the best. And overall, just really, really neat play. Makes him a scary opponent here as well. Then, obviously, the GOAT, the one to hunt down in Steel Division 2 always. Only beaten once or twice. Yeah, twice so far on in the league. Mr. Gonzo. Only stopped by Karma once and by Sean the other time. But multiple time champion, second place last season, and the guy to beat in this group. And the favorite, obviously, to get back to place number 1. And then JKV, who came in last season as a replacement, and I wasn't quite sure. He was really high on ranked. That's why he got into Division 1 as a replacement. I wasn't quite sure if he would be up to the task, but he really nearly got into the playoffs last season, and he has such a cool armored playstyle. And yeah, if he gets a bit more into the tournament thing, I think that was the biggest issue because it was his first tournament last season, like picking and banning. If he gets a bit better in that and gets a bit better matchups, I can really see him coming around here. So yeah, let's move on to Group B, which starts with another really strong player out of last season's playoffs, Mr. Wesley. And yeah, he got 4th place last season. He is an absolute powerhouse. 2nd place on the ranked ladder. And yeah, he came in here last season and he really showed why he is supposed to be first Division 1. Then, obviously, the champion of last season. If he is in form, absolutely insane. If he's not in form, he's beatable. Like, last season, he struggled to get into the playoffs. Then he got back into form and he just stomped. Like, even the games against Gonzo weren't that close sometimes. And he beat him 3-1. So, Karma is scary. Karma is really scary, especially if he's in form. The question is, how much will he practice beforehand? Then we come to our 3rd Russian already, with Mr. Pixie, another returner after 1 season hiatus. And also, before Karma came around, the best Russian. Now, not that anymore. So he has to fight his way back up to the throne, but he has absolutely the potential to do so. Always a charm to look at, really clean playstyle. Both of these players are, like, if you want to just play standard and like want to learn how to play the perfect standard game, both of these players are some you want to have some replays of and check them out. Then our Mr. Spambert, Mr. Spamberty, Emberty, also together with Gonzo and Eugen, one of the staples of Steel Division, like, and even before for him, like since Wargame times, a known player of the Russian community, on the top of the top all the time, like always a scary player, always a bit weird to play against because you feel like you traded well, and then you just lose, and you don't know why, but it's just the magic of Amber T. And yeah, it's a really fun player to play against. Like, I have a lot of good matches against him. Still, my win record against him is not that good though. So yeah, I'm wondering how how he will do this season. Last season was a bit tough for him. He only got 5th place in group stage, but maybe with a bit more practice, he can get back up there, maybe get into the playoffs again. We will see. And then we go to the winner of last season's Division 2, Mr. Under the Sea Piatelli, aka Patrol 2001. So, yeah. Super aggressive player. Absolutely lovely to watch. Really annoying for whenever you play against him. Like, him and Tiger, for me, are the most annoying opponents to play against. And I think a lot of other players will feel the same. And let's see if his aggressive playstyle can get through here against these levels of players as well. Or if it's one step too high for him yet. We will have to see. He is a really stellar player, and he absolutely has the potential to make a good run in Division 1 as well, but he is a bit of an underdog in the group with so many well-known, well-established players. And then another player from Division 2 coming up into Division 1. Last season's 4th player in Division 2, Mr. Jadaboy. And yeah, he is also known for pretty solid play, like all around. He is, I think, also, together with Quadryu, the underdog in this group. But if he shows up, if he plays clean games, he has a shot against all these players. And yeah, I think we will see good games for him as well. I'm a bit worried for him, like regarding chances of getting to playoffs. I don't think they're that huge, but if he practices enough, and I know he plays quite a bit, and you can also find him on his stream. Same with Kama, obviously, and Nilla. Then he will have a shot. So yeah. This will be really interesting. So yeah. Who is your favorite in Division 1, guys? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think will win? I will create all the groups till tomorrow. Yeah, your Italian friend will be in group 5, I think, at Quadryu, if you're still in the chat. Gonzo? Okay. I actually think Gonzo might be over his Zenith. I think that the favorite this season, if he puts the practice in again, is again Kama. I think he yeah. His performance in the last season's playoff were just above everyone else by a step. And if he keeps that up, he is my favorite in this one. But I can see Gonzo, obviously. Like, you can never... Like, Gonzo is not a bad pick for... And I also see Ermin there. Like, I mean, Nilla was in the finals before. If he... And back then he was a bit newer, I think. And, like, still didn't have it fully all figured out. And... I mean, you can see in his 1v1 reviews and so on his YouTube channel that he is a really, really good player, that he knows what he's talking about. Also, a new add-on now to the Strike team, so when it comes to SS Kama, so a couple of these players might have an advantage if the new DLC comes around, because they will have add-on experience with those. Like, I guess by now, like, half of these players are in the Strike team. Like, we have Amber T, we have Kama, we have Pixie, Gonzo, Nilla, Neff, and Eugen. So 7 out of 12 actually are in the Strike team. Yeah, this is an interesting Division 1, and I'm absolutely hyped for casting them. Let's have a look on what the matches will be. So, first week, JKV versus Eugen. Let's get some predictions in, guys. JKV versus Eugen. The Strike team is the playtesting team, like the community playtesters for Eugen, and like the balance support and like, yeah, feedback givers there for game balance and like game testing for like upcoming divisions and so on. Like basically the beta testers. Yeah. Okay. So JKV versus Eugen, the testable testers. What do you think, guys? Who will take that one? This is a tough one. Like, because we haven't seen these guys against each other yet, because last season only JKV was in Division 1. Both have a similar playstyle. Like both are a bit not so much focused on early game aggression most of the time. A bit slower in the setup. Yeah. Like, I think Eugen, but I guess depends on how busy he is with online teaching, and how much he is stressed with that and so on. But like I can see that really as a 50-50 match nearly. Then Greyfox versus Gonzo is already another really good match. And I don't know how much Gonzo practices lately, and I don't know how much Greyfox plays lately, so like if both are like on same practice level, I would say Gonzo. But if Greyfox practices a bit more, I think he absolutely has a shot there. But yeah, I would say Gonzo there. And then game number 3, Neff versus Nilla. I think Neff's weird stuff doesn't really work out against Nilla, because Nilla is not someone who gets like Nilla is the guy who's dictating how the game is played usually, and I don't think Neff can force his game onto him too well. But we will have to see what he has prepared. Like, for example, I love his 116th deck and so on. Like, he has always decks that are just a bit out of the box and can have something in there that can catch you out of guard, and then maybe Nilla can be broken, but I would say Nilla is the favorite in that one. And then in Group B, Jadaboy versus Wesley. Okay. Czechs versus Slovaks. And I think that's Wesley. Like, I think Wesley is just cleaner than Jadaboy. Though Jadaboy obviously is a really good player, but like, yeah, I think Wesley is just that bit better. Both like armored divisions, and like, I think Jadaboy is better when he doesn't play against another armored division, but against something else, because that's also what you mostly practice. And I think Wesley is a bit better in that one. Then Karma, I think, is the favorite in game number 2 there against Quattro U, but with a nice shenanigans, Karma can be caught off guard there. And then I think Pixie is the favorite for the last one, though he's playing mostly team games and so on. I don't know how much 1v1 he played lately, so yeah, it's tough to say without knowing where the guys stand at the moment in practice-wise. Like, it's a bit on and off, so yeah, I would say Pixie for the last one. So, yeah. In forbidden off-stream. Okay. Yeah. So, interesting. So yeah, this is the groups. Now, the most important part of all of this stream, the sellout. That is not really a sellout because you don't have to pay anything. The Matcherino page. We will get to that. Yeah. I will cut my water just after. I know that I have 2 hydrates to do, but I wanted to get through this first. Same with the 10 push-ups that I still have to do. So, go to Matcherino. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat gets you there. And then you can use the lovely link, the lovely code SDL5 in here to add 50 cents to the prize pool completely free. We don't pay it, you don't pay it. Comes from Matcherino into the tournament. Just click on contribute, and then it will be added to the prize pool. And other things you can do are these side quests, I guess. At the moment they are all only for American region, because I guess the one for Europe is run out. Let me have a double check though. Yeah, so at the moment only Americans can use the ones on the side. This one here is just visiting links. If you're from the American region, you can add a couple of cents to the prize pool just by using the link, clicking on the link here, and contributing that way. Well, Stanton Warrior, you're all from the UK, right? Like, you're a UK Discord, so yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's why we have 5 UK players in one group, plus 1 Spanish. Yeah, will be interesting. How much in-house practice will change that. Obviously, you can also contribute directly if you are so generous and want to contribute some direct money. And then the other way you can contribute is by buying something in the marketplace. For example, donor roll on the Discord, on the Steel Division League Discord, or some if you want to have something physical actually, some Match Arena hoodies, or some Match Arena t-shirts, or some nice Mortal Kombat t-shirts if you're that, or if you have a nice beard, unlike me, some beard oil, or if you like the Mandalorian, which if you haven't watched it yet, it's the best Star Wars ever was. You can get some pop heads. What's on the last page? Oh yeah, if you still need a mask, then there's also a mask. The money amount that is under here goes into the prize pool. So if you buy a hoodie for $35, you basically also like not buy it for free, but it would be the same as if you would put $35 directly in. Only that you also get a hoodie out of it.
Spain will dominate the SD League.
Only that you also get a hoodie out of it. So, yeah. That's the ways to contribute to this one. And I know I will do so, Quadryu. He is supposed to be in there. I just messed up on the Chalon. He is supposed to be in there. He is on my list there. Yeah. So that is that, guys. That's the organizational part of today. I'm really happy for the weekend. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up, including one really big surprise. And you should have your eyes open on the weekend. Even if you're not a player, there's a big surprise coming. Yeah, just so much said. And other than that, I will create now a poll for what game to play. Because we will play a bit now as well. And I have a new game that I might want to test out, either today or tomorrow on stream, if you voted for today. That one is War on the Seas. War on the Seas is a lovely new game. It just came out. Then, obviously, Steel Division, and the last one being Age of Empires. The Match Arena link is updated. Supposed to be updated, at least. Yeah. Or what do you mean? Updated. Yeah, you can also... I guess here's also the one where you can region-wise do it. There should be a link as well to the website. Okay. Anyway, I will be off